Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the 6th day of International Conference on Global Parents, Bicycle, Fishing, Environment, Food Safety, Nutrition, Oceans, Biodiversity, Ecosystems, Awareness, Education, Health, Well-being, and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns, and also on occasion of Global Day of Parents, World Bicycle Day, International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression, World Environment Day, International Day for the Fight Against Illegal, Unreported and Unregulated Fishing, Russian Language Day, World Food Safety Day, and World Ocean Day as part of commemorations and celebrations, awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Well. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating Russian Language Day. Every year, on June 6th, the birthday of the great Russian poet A.S. Pushkin, as part of the program to support and develop multilingualism and cultural diversity, the UN celebrates the Day of the Russian Language. One of the goals of this program is to maintain the quality of all 6 official languages of the United Nations, which are English, Arabic, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, and French. The decision to hold language days was taken by the Department of Public Information, the current Department of Global Communications, on the eve of International Day of the Native Language, celebrated annually on 21st February at the initiative of UNESCO. The aim of the UN Language Days is to raise awareness of the history, culture, and development of each of the 6 official UN languages. Among the organization's staff, each language is given the opportunity to find its own unique approach and develop its own program of events of the day, including the invitation of famous poets and writers, and the development of information and thematic materials. Cultural events, among others, may include the performance of musical and literary works, competitions, exhibitions, lectures, pop performances, and past performances of cultural figures holding national cuisine and performing folklore groups, demonstration of films, and express language lessons for those who want to learn another of the official languages of the UN. Multilingualism, which is an important factor in harmonious communication among peoples, is of particular importance of the United Nations. By promoting tolerance, it also ensures the effective and more active participation of all in the organization and EPO's working process, as well as greater efficiency, better results, and wider engagement of the parties. Multilingualism should be maintained and promoted through various measures taken within the United Nations system for sharing and communication, ensuring a balance between the 6 official languages: English, Arabic, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, and French, with English and French serves as the language of everyday professional communication, was a constant concern for all the secretaries general. Since 1946, to represent the numerous measures have been taken to promote the use of official languages so that the United Nations, its objectives and actions are understood by the general public. The official languages of the United Nations, which are English, Arabic, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, English, and French, are also working languages of the United Nations Secretariat, via Resolution 2 of 1st February 1946. In its Resolution 54 by 64 of 6 December 1999, the General Assembly requested the Secretary General to appoint a multilingual coordinator from among the Secretariat within the Secretariat. Issues of multilingualism should be addressed from different perspectives, in particular from the point of view of internal and external communication. Internal communication is carried out within the organization, whether it is formally interacting between the member states and all parties involved in the work of the United Nations, or the interaction between member states and the United Nations Secretariat. It requires a distinction between workers and official languages. External communication targeting the broadest public may include languages other than official ones, as well as the information tools used to disseminate the United Nations messages. Finally, in order to promote all aspects of multilingualism, the issue of human resources should be considered separately. The function of the Department of Global Communications, in particular, include awareness and understanding of the ideals and messages of the United Nations worldwide, to facilitate the support of the organization with the participation of major mediators such as the press, non-governmental organizations, and educational institutions. To that end, the widest possible and timely dissemination of information and material should be ensured. In this regard, the department is constantly seeking to expand its audience worldwide. So the functions of the Department of Global Communication in particular include awareness and understanding of the ideals and messages of the United Nations worldwide to facilitate the support of the organization within the participation of major mediators such as press, non-governmental organizations, education, and educational institutions. To that end, the widest possible and timely dissemination of information and materials To that end, the widest possible and timely dissemination of information and materials should be ensured. In this regard, the department is consistently seeking to expand its audience worldwide, which uses its information, products, and results, such as television and radio programs, the website, the United Nations Information Center Network, and main officials and tour programs. Employees of UN language units represent a wide variety of countries of the world and form a unique in their diversity multilingual community. They are united by the desire for excellence in their respective areas of their activities, the desire to be forefront of the international relations, and the willingness to contribute to the achievement of the purposes of the Chapter of the United Nations through the promotion of information and decision making. Gender in Russian language is often one of the main tools in the formation of cultural and social attitudes. So mainstreaming gender specificity in speech is an effective way to strengthen gender equality and combat genders So Russian language is widely used in the United Nations, web services section, translation service, interpretation service, warranting reporting service, verbatim reporting section, official records editor, and services. The section of the preparation of originals and proofreadings, program of language training, club of the Russian book, are various activities you can see. The web services section is responsible for the main United Nations website, including content creation and updating, information management, web design, as well as banding accessibility for the people with disabilities and multilingualism. The Russian language is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations, and it's natural that one of its main speakers in the Secretariat is the Russian Translation Service, which employs about 50 people. Due to importance of the documents with which the translators and editors of the service have to work, they are subject to high professional requirements. The employee of the service must, in addition to his main language, Russian, to be perfectly fluent in original languages, English, and other of the official languages of the UN, thoroughly knowing their grammar and style. It needs to have a wide information and communication technologies are valuable in translation, especially given in the organization and progressive translation to electronic document management. The entire array of translated documents, which is an average of 50,000 credit pages per month, is created electronically, deduction, adjustment, and made using desktop publishing systems in the text processing office. High qualified employees who are professionally fluent in the Russian language and are able to quickly and completely dial the text, build a schedule, draw up a table or diagram. Interpretation Service. Statements of the United Nations is in one of the 6 official languages, which are English, Arabic, Chinese, French, Russian, or Spanish, are translated into 5 other languages. Translation into Russian is carried out by Russian Interpretation Service, and interpreters who perform simultaneous interpretation must have a broad knowledge of the state of the world and the activities of the UN, as well as the networking. An additional problem was created by the fact that many delegates did not speak their own language. Interpreters should understand all possible accents and translate regardless of the speed of style or performance, while if impossible, trying to preserve all subtleties of the original text. Ideally, Interpreters receive the text of speech, but they tend to the verbatim reporting service. The service consists of 6 languages and language sections corresponding to 6 official languages of the UN. Each section has 8 by 9 employees, 5 to 6 verbatim report compilers, 2 editors, and head of the section. The official records editing section was established in 1947. Initially, the section worked in English and French only. Later, the section included Spanish, Russian, Arab, Chinese editors. The section is currently leading to documentaries in all 6 official languages. The official records editing section was established in 1947. Initially, the section worked in English and French only. Later, the section included Spanish, Russian, Arab, and Chinese editors. This section is currently issuing documents in all 6 official UN languages. The official records editing section is part of the editorial control service and the reference and methodologies. methodological support of the Documentation Division of the Department for General Assembly Affairs and Conference Management of the Secretariat. The group of Russian editors includes 4 editors, 2 assistants. In their work, the Russian editors work closely with the Russian Translation Service and other subdivisions of the Secretariat, as well as with the permanent mission of the Russian Federation to the UN. Editing UN official documents is a complex and multifaceted process, including many components. The ultimate purpose to prepare documents for publication. At the same time, editing is not limited to one editing text. Editing involves a comprehensive analysis of text, which allows to eliminate the associated with preparation and publication of documents. There is a certain method of editing. We are talking about the established system of traditional technique used in a certain sequence and about a strict compliance with the standards of editing adopted by the UN. At the stage of preparation for the editing of analysis, and the editor should clearly understand what he should do, what is the established practices of working with such documents. The next stage is the original language correction of translation, errors, unification of designations and abbreviations, bringing into a single system of all links and footnotes, correction of grammatical, punctuation, and stylistic errors, as well as the correction in inconsistencies, informing technical processing of text. Editors actively use in their work all reference materials and terminology of databases at their disposal. The editorial records editing section, which includes a group of Russian editors and their assistants as an integral part, is one of the necessary links in the production process of the preparation, coordination, and publication in most UN documents. The originals and proofreadings are serving on the United Nations publications. It is preparing for the publication of UN publications in the 6 official languages. The range of these publications is very diverse and covers almost all aspects of the organization activities. These are publications affecting the activities of the United Nations. The next stage is preparation of an electronic print version and a separate electronic version for placement on the internet, which is becoming one of the most important areas of the section's work. As electronic information sources are becoming increasingly important in the modern era, it is in the direction that publishing is developing. All work is carried out by editors and assistants who, on one hand, must be perfectly proficient in their native language and 2 other official languages. The United Nations Language and Communication Training Program offers courses in English, Arabic, Chinese, Russian, and French to improve language balance and multilingualism in the UN Secretariat. The aim of these courses is to enable UN staff to learn the official languages of the organization in order to perform professional duties. A unique place in the Russian speaking community of the UN is occupied by the Russian Book Club, which has existed for more than 40 years. It is an open forum for all who speak Russian, United Nations staff, diplomat, accredited correspondents, and their families. The club rich actions or collections of books about 5,000 copies and video materials about 2,000. This books and material The club holds meetings with Russian-speaking writers and poets, public figures, athletes, other interesting people. So over the past years, its guests were this day is also commemorated as World Green Roof Day on June 6th every year to appreciate the beautiful green roofs that contribute to a better environment and raise awareness about their importance to climate change. Did you know the first record of green roofing was by hanging gardens of Babylon planted in Iraq in 500 BC, also known as living roofs? They consist of vegetation that is particularly or completely covers a waterproofing system and green proofing system. As known as living roofs, they consist of vegetation that particularly completely covers a waterproofing system. Green roofing lowers the cost of coding and reduces stormwater. So if we are to believe the ancient text, we can confidently trace the first green roof to hanging gardens of Babylon on the seven wonders of the ancient world, planted in Iraq in 500 BC. According to ancient Greek, Roman, so these roofs or stone pillars and roofs, they were made up of trees and fauna found in the Babylonian mountains. And they slipped shade for people and cooled buildings, interiors. Vikings also used green roofs. Are considered during Middle Ages to survive the harsh climate of the region. The green roofs were constructed using sod and grass with substrates, and water retaining. The roofs provide protection from harsh weather, good insulation during the winter months, and a cool interior in the summer. These Norse houses were so durable that their remnants are still found today. Modern green roofing began in the early 20th century in Germany. The movement is said to have kick-started when the Gerd Kohlwitzer and the Werner Singh published in their book Unlimited entitled Roofs Areas Inhabited, Viable and Covered by Wastage. In 1963, the United States green roofing first approved in the Rockefeller Center in the mid 1830s. So 1930s, it has since become part of the country's social elements, with states such as New York and San Francisco offering tax incentives. In the United States, green roofing first appeared in the Rockefeller Center in the mid 1930s. It has since become part of the country's social elements, with states such as New York and San Francisco offering tax incentives to developers who integrate green roofs for their buildings. Green roofs can be most centuries in Europe, Canada, the US, Egypt, and Costa Rica. Some interesting facts about green roofs. They absorb rainwater. Green roofs can absorb up to 80% of rainwater and prevent flooding. They reduce noise. Green roofs act as a sound barriers between green roofs act as a sound barriers, reducing external noises by 8 decibels compared to green roofs can last twice as long as regular roofs. They are fire resistant. Planets usually certain Green roofs can last twice as long as the glyph roofs. The green roofs the pult organism Today is also commemorated as World Pest Day, which is celebrated internationally on every June 6 to raise awareness after their effective management practices and how they benefit the quality of life and the plant life. Humans have been controlling pest infestation since 3000 BC. The pests are organisms that spread diseases through the cultural material. Different methods are used to control pests, including pesticides, biological control agents, electronic devices, and physical means. World Pest Day, which is known as World Post or Pest Awareness Day, is an initiative by Chinese pest control Association by the Chinese Pest Control Association. During the 1960s, the public became aware of the harmful impacts of these chemical pesticides on the environment, and they wanted to re-emergence of biological control. Although chemical pest control is still in the process of method for pest management, today people are beginning to take an interest in traditional and natural pest control. On June 6, 2017, the Chinese Pest Control flies taste with their net, their flies taste receptions. Chamonsensula are located in their feet. Flies taste with their feet. Cockroaches have been around for more than 200 million years ago. These raccoons have hands, they have hands with 5 fingers which are nimble enough to unlace shoes. Mosquitoes are attracted to the odor given off by sweaty feet and socks. So mosquitoes love smelly feet. Scorpions give birth to their babies alive rather than laying eggs. So scorpion babies are born alive. Now, poor pest control can lead to unpleasant consequences for households, countries, and the world. Well, Pest Day offers an opportunity for the professionals and agencies to come together and develop strategies to combat global pest infestation and set standards for responsible pest management. So, World Pest Day brings these statistics into limelight. It provides an avenue for professionals to sensitize the public a need for appropriate pest management. Pests do not only affect humans, they also destroy plants and food, contribute to global hunger. Around 20%, 24%. Day is also commemorated as Visually Impaired People Day in Germany. It brings attention to the people with visual impairment or loss and hopes of creative support ecosystems for them. This day also spreads awareness about feeling of isolation. Visually impaired people often struggle with and aims with help others understand and empathize with these people struggling. The German Federation of the Blind and Partially Sighted, DBSV, which is a self-help organization founded in 1912 that aims to help and support people who suffer from diseases that lead vision losses, or those who might be at risk. It advocates for providing accessibility to visually impaired people in all walks of life, supports the development of vision assisting devices, promotes inclusive education for partially sighted children, helps in development of vision support services, and various awareness about the visually impaired community. The organization represents 150,000 blind and over 5 lakh visually impaired people. The DBSV organized the first Visually Impaired People Day in 1998 since its first observance. Visually Impaired People Day has brought sighted and visually impaired people together to encourage an exchange of ideas. This day allows the visually impaired and the blind people to share their concerns with each other. It also allows these people to convey their concerns to the DBSV so that organization can focus on these areas. Over the course of 2 decades, usually Impaired People Day has brought attention to the issues like education for visually impaired, braille, literacy, regulation regarding the use of assistance, animals, and the development of devices that could help visually impaired people perform everyday tasks. It has helped the DBSV focus on areas of concern, implement measures that fulfill visually impaired seniors' needs, and ensure a better future for everyone challenged by vision-related problems. A person's vision is impaired when their eyesight cannot be corrected or returned to normal. Simply put, visually impaired people are unable to see clearly through their eyes. Terms like blind and blindness are medical terms and thus not offensive. Visually impaired is also okay to use. Ask visually impaired people if they need help crossing the street or shopping and give them ample space to move around on sidewalks. It is the little things that make a difference. Empathy begins with awareness, so share resources and stories about visually impaired people day among your network. Support charities that work with blind or visually impaired people. Donate generously, either money or your time. Braille is an alphabet with Arabic, Spanish, and Chinese versions among several other languages. Louis Braille took inspiration from the writing, a 10th century French army code, enabling communication without speaking or using candles. Braille has 2 versions, contracted and non-contracted. The Braille version of Harry Potter comprises 10 volumes. It takes up more space. The Nemeth code, invented by Abraham Nemeth, encodes maths, calculus, and algebra. Everyone deserves a life of dignity, regardless of their ability. Visually Impaired People Day works towards a more just and humane world for everyone. Conversations reduce the stigma around the differently abled. The Visually Impaired People Day is a medium that allows the conversations to occur. It encourages communities to ask questions, to educate themselves. For the blind and visually impaired people, even the mundane tasks can seem Herculean. Visually Impaired People Day allows us to learn about every struggles of visually impaired and blind people. It helps us aware of how we can help make their lives better. Today is also commemorated as Savitri Amavasya, which is so Amavasya. Today, Savitri Amavasya is a day of fasting observed on Amavasya or no moon day of the month of Jeshta, the third month of the Hindu calendar that falls between May to June. This year it falls on June 6th. So this day is observed in some states of North India and the country of Nepal. The festival is also known by the name Savitri Vans in some parts of the state of Odisha. On this day, married Hindu women in the states of Odisha, Bihar, and Uttar Pradesh fast and pray for their husbands to have a long life. This fasting is religious and is considered a vow among those women. Savitri Amavasya is a day of fasting observed on the Amavasya or no moon day in the Hindu month of Jeshta. This month in the third month of Hindu calendar and falls between May to June. The day of no moon day changes every year. On this day, married women in the North Indian states of Odisha, Bihar, and Uttar Pradesh, as well as in the country of Nepal, maintain a fast according to their beliefs. And the fast is a vow that strengthens the prayer for their husbands to live long lives. The day and fast gets its name from Savitri, one half of the legendary couple, Savitri and Satyavan in Hindu mythology. There are many stories of Savitri and Satyavan, but the oldest one are from the Sanskrit epic, the Mahabharata. According to the legend, Savitri was born to a king Ashwapati of the Madra kingdom, who was likely in the modern Indian state of Maharashtra. Savitri chose Satyavan, the son of a blind king, Yumatsena, to be her husband. Savitri's father was informed that Satyavan was destined to die in a year. He tries to convince her to choose another man, but she refuses. The fast is based on the same fast that Savitri observed for 3 days before Satyavan's predicted death. When the god of death, Yama, appears to take Satyavan's soul, he is impressed by the Savitri's fast as well as her eloquent speech. He offers her anything she would like except Satyavan's life. Savitri's wishes for her and Satyavan to have 100 children. Impressed by her intelligence, the god of death allows her to wish for Satyavan's life, and Yama grants his life back. So unmarried women also keep the fast to pray for a good husband and their future husband's long life. Apart from Savitri Amavasya fast, Karva Chauth is also kept for the long lives of one's husband. Vat Savitri is celebrated by the women observing a fast for their husbands till afternoon, praying to Savitri, listening to the story of Savitri and Satyavan, and feasting. If you are married and in the area, the women of Odisha, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Nepal, and those people who belong to those areas who are located across the world, welcome your participation in the rituals, keep the fast, participation in the worship, and join the feast in the afternoon. Savitri Amavasya is a great day to read about Savitri and Satyavan. Pick up a copy of Mahabharata of the Vanaparva and read the story. Share the story of Savitri's dedication and cleverness with everyone you know. Her cleverness in defense of her family is an inspiring story. In the states of Maharashtra, Goa, Gujarat, and Karnataka, the fast is also observed on Vat Purnima or full moon in the month of Jyeshtha. On the day of fast, married women worship Savitri and dedicate their offerings to her. 9 types of flowers and 9 types of fruits are offered to Savitri as part of the rituals. An important part of the rituals associated with Savitri Amavasya is Vrat Katha, the story of the fast. And it is very important. The fasting ends in the afternoon. The rituals end in the afternoon, after which the women So we think it is very impressive how the women have kept these rituals alive for all these years. We appreciate the faith that leads them to keep the fast even today. We love the love Savitri shows for her husband. We also think that Savitri is wise and a great role model. We think that the rituals and legends are important to culture of the place. We think that celebrating these festivals and keeping these fasts help the culture stay alive. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations and we will close it for today here, and we'll join tomorrow at 6 o'clock with the same joining link with different commemorations. So thank you everyone for joining us. See you all tomorrow. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of quotes. Take care. Good night.